Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel where we talk about travel and languages. If you're new here, my name is Kristen. I'm a flight attendant, traveler, and lover of languages. Recently I got some messages asking... Margot. It's my niece puppy. Recently I got some messages from some of my viewers asking about really specific things regarding travel to Japan, and I've been traveling there for like 8 years now. I think my last time I went was my 7th trip I've ever done, and so I do take a lot of it for granted, all of that accumulated knowledge, and sometimes I forget that there are some beginners out there that don't know these little details that you know, you just kind of pick up over time. And so I'm going to share those with you guys today. I'm probably not going to cover all of them because obviously there's a ton of little things. So if you have any further questions, please do leave them in the comments. But I just want to go over some really basic little things that some people have a hard time finding the answers to or just confused about. So first, I want to go over visas because some people don't know. For a person from the US, you are eligible to have a 90-day tourist visa that you don't have to apply for ahead of time. You just show up at the airport and they put a stamp in your passport that says when you came into the country, and then you are good for 90 days being in the country. If you travel the way that I do, that is plenty of time, you know, except for if you want to spend like an extended amount of time there, that is a little bit annoying because obviously you would have to leave the country and come back to get another tourist visa. One of the ways that I travel is through like working stay, where you volunteer your time in exchange for your room and sometimes food, and sometimes those do require a working holiday visa. Unfortunately for US citizens, we are not eligible for that in Japan, but that is pretty cool if you're from a country where you are eligible. I'll put the list below because it's you know, more than I want to rattle off in this video, but if you are eligible, that is pretty cool because you get to stay for up to a year if you're between the ages of 18 and 30, and you get to work in Japan as well as live there for a year. On a tourist visa, the one that's only good for 90 days, you are not legal to work in Japan. However, if you do a volunteer stay, you are able to do that, just not, you know, receive money for your work, but you can receive room and board. There are other visas you can get if you're planning on living there, but obviously we're just talking about travel right now. Next thing that some people have been wondering is the COVID situation over in Japan. Right now, at the time I'm filming this, when I went, you had to have gotten initially vaccinated and then boosted once in order to enter the country without having to test first for COVID. If you don't have your vaccine, you can still go. You do just have to test before you go. It's important to note though that Japan recognizes you being as vaccinated if you have gotten the initial vaccine and boosted once. You don't have to have gotten 3 total shots. If, for instance, you got the Janssen vaccine, that's what I got initially, and then I got boosted, they do consider that fully vaccinated. However, when I went to check in for my flight, the airline didn't see that as meeting the requirements because, well, I'm talking about only through the app. When I went to check in for my flight, the airline did not recognize that as fully vaccinated according to Japan's standards. However, it was. So I had to go up and see an agent and get checked in that way, but I was able to check in, and then in Japan, they actually didn't even mention it. If you're like me and got the initial 1-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine and then got boosted, you are okay to enter Japan without getting tested. Everywhere that I went in Japan did not require you to wear masks. Some places did have signs up asking you to, but you know, I did see some people not wearing them and they didn't get like kicked out or scolded or anything. But it is, you know, frowned upon if you ignore those signs, if you don't follow those requests. And a lot of people were wearing masks even outside, you know, and it was already a big part of Japan's culture to wear masks, especially if you were not feeling well. But now it seems like it's even more so. So that might be something to consider if you have any strong opinions about that one way or the other. And lastly, if you are worried about your Japanese level or the amount of knowledge you have about the culture, like if you're worried that you're gonna accidentally offend someone and they're gonna be really mad at you and like kick you out of the place or kick you out of their home if you're doing a homestay, you know, that's not going to happen. Japanese people don't like embarrassing people, so no one's going to publicly shame you if you make a mistake or if you, you know, do something that offends someone. I think most likely what would happen is they would probably pull you aside and let you know, or maybe not even let you know, unfortunately. But I actually think that you can get around pretty well depending on where you go, but especially in Tokyo or any of the bigger cities, you can get around pretty well without knowing much Japanese. But you know, I'm a big fan of language learning in general and also learning about cultures, so I do encourage you to look into those things and also do try to learn some Japanese. I think that would just be really nice, you know, to show that you're trying. Even if you don't get very far, I think it still comes off well. And people appreciate when you try. So don't be scared to practice your Japanese. Don't feel like you're gonna accidentally say something super offensive and, you know, get kicked out of the country. No, that's not gonna happen. And certainly don't let that be a reason or an excuse to keep you from actually going on your trip. So I hope this was helpful. Definitely leave any other questions you have in the comments and I will do my best to answer all of them. If I see a lot of the same question though, I'll probably just make a part 2 of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and I'll see you all next time. Rest my arm. Oh baby. Oh baby. Please don't make that noise.